As most of you would already know, Australia is a very big continent, and when it was divided up, Queensland received the second largest slice. Smaller states such as Victoria would fit quite comfortably into Cape York Peninsula. Way back in 1955, something very important was discovered up here. It was to make Cape York a very rich spot in the state of Queensland. Identified as one of the world's largest bauxite deposits, Weipa was soon to become a boom town. The greatest problem was getting there. Because of the vast amount of distance separating Weipa from the larger cities on the eastern side, it proved to be a very costly and lengthy process to travel on the rough, dusty road. Even today, four-wheel drives are the only safe way of reaching Weipa. For the few people who are brave enough to tackle the long trip, it is like arriving at an oasis. After all that choking dust and corrugations, you are suddenly confronted by beautiful green lawns and pretty gardens. You've finally arrived at your destination. The giant company Comalco Aluminium is employer, landlord and local council, and the reason why they are there is these tiny red pills known as bauxite. Clouds of swirling red dust are whipped up by these 100-ton scrapers as they remove the layer of topsoil, laying bare the rich red bauxite ready for the next operation. Lined up and all ready for the next move are a fleet of 150-ton dump trucks. With the topsoil and all the vegetation gone, it is now an easy matter for the front-end loaders to heap this 4-metre deep layer of bauxite into these mechanical monsters for transport to the Loram Point processing plant. As well as road transport, Comalco has built its own 20-kilometre long rail link, which also carries bauxite from its Andoom mining site. Dump trucks are continually supplying a hopper, keeping it full, ready for an almost continuous rail service. The engine brings the empty ore cars in under the hopper, where they will be filled at an incredible speed by a completely computerised operation. Whilst that train is being filled, the engine then couples up to a full one, which is standing ready, ensuring a minimum of lost time. More than half the total ore mined is taken to Andoom from Loram Point by rail, so it was necessary for Comalco to introduce computerisation. At the flick of a switch, one man can control this complicated operation of measuring 60 tonnes of ore into 27 cars without needing to step out of his air-conditioned control room. Crossing the Mission River on Comalco's standard gauge rail line, the ore is now taken to be unloaded onto more conveyor belts, piling into these bright red man-made mountains, which will be either washed and graded or just stockpiled. This batch is being taken by more conveyor belts to the upper level, passing through a shuddering lattice of girders and pipes for cleaning and grading at the Loram Point benefaction plant. Washed by over 4 million litres of water per hour, the ore descends through a vibrating mesh of screens arranged to select particles between 1 1/4 and 19 millimetres in diameter. Anything larger is crushed, while undersized pieces are piped away as slurry to tailing dams. Size is very important in the aluminium refining process. About 300,000 tonnes of graded bauxite await shipment at any given time. Then, like sand in an hourglass, it funnels down to underground belts that convey it to the wharf. Riding high in the water is this huge Japanese ore carrier as it awaits its load. Situated in Albatross Bay with its deep sheltered water, Loram Point is an ideal harbour for ore carriers to berth. Whilst bauxite is supplied to many places in the world, a large percentage is shipped to Gladstone in Queensland to be refined into alumina, from which aluminium is smelted. 4 tonnes of ore yields 1 tonne of aluminium. This means out of 9 million tonnes of bauxite mined annually, a total of 2.25 million tonnes of aluminium is produced, netting the company hundreds of millions of dollars a year. To keep Weipa the oasis it is, a continuing reforestation is being carried out. The mined area is a patchwork of blocks at different stages of regeneration, having corridors of untouched bush acting as reservoirs for wildlife and seeds. Comalco concedes that its regenerated bush will never replace the original. However, it comes very close. The town itself is built on a mined area and owes its tropical beauty to climate, dedicated town planners and abundant fresh water. The 2,500 population enjoy the same amenities as any other town its size, with lovely spacious parks, homes set in quiet streets which are just a walk away from schools, sporting fields and swimming pools. Coconut fronds stroke the cool prevailing easterlies as the day draws to a close and we witness an almost daily event. A tropical sunset over the bay is an unforgettable sight in this remote, prosperous place known as Weipa.